Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, and today we're starting new chapter, chapter number 7, the sacrifice performed by Daksha. Text 1. Iti ajenanu nitena bhavin paritushyata abhyadhai mahabaho prahasya shritamiti. The sage Maitreya said, O mighty armed Vidura, Lord Shiva, being thus pacified by the words of Lord Brahma, spoke as follows in answer to Lord Brahma's request. Mahadev vacha nagam prajesh balanam varanenanu chinte deva maya vibhutanam dandastatra dhrito maya. Lord Shiva said, My dear father Brahma, I do not mind offenses created by the demigods, because these demigods are childish and less intelligent. So this is what Mahadev is thinking of the demigods. These demigods are childish and less intelligent. I do not take a serious view of their offenses, and I have punished them only in order to correct them. There are two types of punishment. One is that which a conqueror imposes on an enemy, and the other is like a father imposes on his son. There is a gulf of difference between these two kinds of punishment. Lord Shiva is by nature a Vaishnava, a great devotee, and his name in this connection is Ashutosh. He is always satisfied, and therefore he did not become angry as if he were an enemy. He is not inimical to any living entity. Rather, he always wishes the welfare of all. Whenever he chastises a person, it's just like a father's punishment of his son. Lord Shiva is like a father because he never takes seriously any offense by any living entities, especially the demigods. So that's his position. He's always calm and serene. Although Prabhupada in one of the purports, he said, Ashutosh means one gets satisfied easily and one gets irritated also easily. But he's always satisfied, and he's the topmost Vaishnava. So his chastisement, if he has punished the demigods, it's like a father punishing his son. It's just for his betterment. Prajapatir dagda shirshno bhavat vajamukham shirah mitrasya chakshu sheksheta bhagam swam barhisho bhaga. Lord Shiva continued, since the head of Daksha has already been burned to ashes, he will have the head of a goat. The demigod known as Bhaga will be able to see his share of sacrifice through the eyes of Mitra, because Bhaga lost his eyes. So Shivji says he can see his sacrifice, his share of sacrifice through the eyes of another demigod, Mitra. Usha tu yajmanasya dadbhir jakshatu pishtabhuk deva prakrita sarvanga yema ucheshanam daduhu. The demigod Pusha will be able to chew only through the teeth of his disciples because he lost his teeth. And if alone, he will have to satisfy himself by eating dough made from chickpea flour. Yes, that's the life of demigods, some of them. But the demigods who have agreed to give me my share of the sacrifice will recover from all their injuries. The demigod Pusha became dependent on his disciples for chewing. Otherwise, he was allowed to swallow only dough made of chickpea flour. Thus, his punishment continued. He could not use his teeth for eating since he had laughed at Lord Shiva, deriding him by showing his teeth. In other words, it was not appropriate for him to have teeth, for he had used them against Lord Shiva. So this This is serious if we commit an offense against a Vaishnava, especially Vaishnava like Lord Shiva. His followers can create havoc. Bahubhyam ashvino pushno hastabhyam krit bahava bhavanti vardva arvashyan chanye bastashmashru brigur bhavet. Those who have had their arms cut off will have to work with the arms of Ashwini Kumar, and those whose hands were cut off will have to do their work with the hands of Pusha. The priests will also have to act in that manner. As for Bhrigu, so Bhrigu's mustache was pulled off. As for Bhrigu, he will have the beard from the goat's head. Oh boy. Bhrigu Muni, a great supporter of Daksha, was awarded the beard of the goat's head, which was substituted for the head of Daksha. So head of the goat went to Daksha and the beard was taken off and implanted on Bhrigu Muni's face. So this artificial implantation has been going on since the beginning. So transplanting of hair from one part of the body to another. It was done by Lord Shiva a long time back. It appears from the exchange of Daksha's head that the modern scientific theory that the brain substance is the cause of all intelligent work is not valid. The brain substance of Daksha and that of a goat are different. But Daksha still acted like himself, even though his head was replaced by that of a goat. So the intelligence has nothing to do with the brain substance. Intelligence is a subtle body covering the soul. The conclusion is that it is the particular consciousness of an individual soul which acts. The brain substance is only an instrument which has nothing to do with the real intelligence. The real intelligence, mind, and consciousness are part of the particular individual soul. It will be found in the verses lay ahead that after Daksha's head was replaced by the goat's head, he was as intelligent as he had previously been. He prayed very nicely to satisfy Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, which is not possible for a goat to do. So the head or the brain is just an instrument. Therefore, it is definitely concluded that the brain substance is not the center of intelligence. It's a consciousness of a particular soul that works intelligently. The whole moment of Krishna consciousness is to purify the consciousness. It doesn't matter what kind of brain one has, because if he simply transfers his consciousness from matter to Krishna, his life becomes successful. It is confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita that anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness achieves the highest perfection of life, regardless of whatever abominable condition of life he may have fallen into. Specifically, anyone in Krishna consciousness goes back to God, back to home on leaving his present material body. So anyone who's completely purified, whatever intelligence he has, it doesn't matter. It's not that one has to remember all the shlokas of all the scriptures and he has to understand all the essence of shlokas, the meaning of the shlokas. Only thing he has to know is how to perform devotion service properly. This is part of devotion service, reading and explaining the meanings and preaching. But everybody has a different level of intelligence and a different level of services, different kinds of services. And every service is spiritual. Just because if somebody is just cleaning the floor of the temple or doing just washing the dishes, he can be, it doesn't mean that he is not eligible to go back home to God. He can be very much purified. And just because somebody is giving big lectures, maybe his consciousness is not purified. And so he might not be eligible to go back to the spiritual world. So it all depends upon the consciousness, how purified we are, how devoted we are, how surrendered we are. Maitreya vacha tada sarvani bhutani shrutva midushma oditam moditam paritushtatma abhistata sadhu sadvityad etha brahman. The great sage Maitreya said, "My dear Vidura, all the personalities present were very much satisfied in heart and soul upon hearing the words of Lord Shiva, who is the best among the benedictors." In this verse, Lord Shiva is described as Midhushtama, the best of the benedictors. He is also known as Ashutosh, which indicates that he is very quickly satisfied and very quickly angered also. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that less intelligent persons go to the demigods for material benedictions. In this connection, people generally go to Lord Shiva because he is always quickly satisfied and gives benedictions to his devotees without considerations. He is called Midhushtama, or the best of the benedictors. Materialistic persons are always anxious to get material profit, but they are not serious about spiritual profit. So they run to Lord Shiva to get some material benediction and just go on with their materialistic life, thinking they can enjoy. But any material benedictions Lord Shiva gives, they're all temporary. They cannot last forever. And in the end, we end up committing more and more karma bandhan for ourselves. The best of benedictors here is called Lord Shiva, but even better than him. And there's a beautiful, very beautiful deity of Lord Vishnu in Kanchipuram near Chennai. And he's called Varadaraj. Varad means benedictions, and Raj, king. So he is a person who's a king of benedictors. But his benedictions are all spiritual. That's why when we went to take darshan of Lord Varadaraj, there was hardly anybody there. Not too many people lining up to take darshan of or ask benedictions from Lord Varadaraj. Although he's Varadaraj, he is a king of benedictors. We can ask any spiritual benediction from him as we want. It's beautifully, very beautiful deity. But people go to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva can give spiritual benedictions also, but generally people don't ask him for spiritual benefits. Sometimes, of course, it so happens that Lord Shiva becomes the best benedictor in spiritual life. It is said that once a poor Brahmin worshipped Lord Shiva for a benediction, and Lord Shiva advised a devotee to go to see Sanatana Goswami. The devotee went to Sanatana Goswami and informed him that Lord Shiva had advised him to seek out the best benediction from him, Sanatana. Sanatana had a touchstone with him, which he kept with the garbage, or inside the garbage. On the request of the poor Brahman, Sanatana Goswami gave him the touchstone, and the Brahman was very happy to have it. He now could get as much gold as he desired simply by touching the touchstone to iron. But after he left Sanatana, he thought, if a touchstone is the best benediction, why has Sanatana Goswami kept it with the garbage? He therefore returned and asked Sanatana Goswami, sir, if this is the best benediction, why did you keep it with the garbage? Sanatana Goswami then informed him, actually this is not the best benediction, but are you prepared to take the best benediction from me? The Brahman said, yes, sir. Lord Shiva has sent me to you for the best benediction. Then Sanatana Goswami asked him to throw the touchstone in the water nearby. That water was Yamuna river. And then come back. The poor Brahman did so. And when he returned, Sanatana Goswami initiated him with the Hare Krishna mantra. Thus, by the benediction of Lord Shiva, the Brahman got the association of the best devotee of Lord Krishna, and was thus initiated in the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So actually, this is the best benediction that we got also by the mercy of Prabhupada to chant, that we can chant this Hare Krishna mantra. Of course, many of us must be still thinking, if I get the touchstone, that'll be very good. Well, not according to Sanatana Goswami, and not according to Lord Shiva, and certainly not according to Srila Prabhupada. So we got the best of the benedictions, and we can chant Hare Krishna. And on Nirjala Ekadashi day, we all chanted so many rounds. It's amazing. And again, Ekadashi is coming, and this is important Ekadashi. It's the Shayan Ekadashi, and then the Chaturmas starts after that. And actually this year it will be Panchamas, 5 months, because there is Purushottam month also appearing in the Chaturmas. So we get 5 months of mercy. So we can chant more rounds during this 5 months and get more mercy. Tato Mirvansas Mama Mantriya Shrunasila Saharshibi Bhuyasted Dev Yajanam Samirvad Ved So Yayu. Thereafter, Bhrigu, the chief of the great sages, invited Lord Shiva to come to the sacrificial arena. Thus the demigods, accompanied by the sages, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, all went to the place where the great sacrifice was being performed. The whole sacrifice arranged by King Daksha had been disturbed by Lord Shiva. Therefore, all the demigods present there, along with Lord Brahma and the great sages, specifically requested Lord Shiva to come and revive the sacrificial fire. There is a common phrase, Shiva Hina Yagya, any sacrifice without the presence of Lord Shiva is baffled. Lord Vishnu is Yageshwara, the Supreme Personality in the matter of sacrifice. Yet in each yagya, it is necessary for all the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, to be present. Because Lord Vishnu also, if he do a sacrifice for his pleasure without demigods being present, he doesn't like it. They are all his devotees. Of course, in Sankirtan Yagya, so we are chanting Krishna's name, but in that, everybody is included actually. Him, his expansions, his devotees, his energy, everybody is included. So we are paying respects to everybody. So all the demigods are also pleased when the devotees go out and chant Hare Krishna mantra. And another thing, of course this story will come later. So Bhrigu Muni, Bhrigu Muni is also son of Brahmaji. So he is in a way brother of Lord Shiva. And later on, now I don't know, is it later on it happened or before this incident, because Bhagavatam is not given in any chronological order. Bhrigu Muni was given a task to find out who is the Supreme Lord. So once all the sages were sitting together and they were discussing and they were trying to figure out who's the Supreme. Is it Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, or Lord Vishnu? So Bhrigu Muni was given the task to go and find out. So first he went to Kailash. So Lord Shiva saw him and he just got up from his asana and he ran towards Bhrigu Muni to welcome him with his arms extended to receive him, to hug him. And Bhrigu Muni he had to test. And the test was, he had to make all three of them angry. So he had to test. And he just said, no, stay away from me. Shiva, Shankar, you stay away. You are all dirty. You are covered with ashes and the snakes are there and the ghosts are all around. You're not clean. You're wearing this garland of skull and the bones. I'm not going to embrace you. You stay away. And Lord Shiva got so angry with with these words. He took out his Trishul to kill Bhrigu Muni, but Parvati stopped him. No, 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 don't kill him. He's your brother. Come on, you cannot kill him. So Lord Shiva just kept quiet and Bhrigu Muni left. Then Bhrigu Muni went to Brahmalok. So now to make somebody angry, first thing is by words. Then second thing is by action. And third is by mind. So he went to Brahmaloka. So by words, if Shiva got angry, so next step was to do by action. So he went to Brahmaloka, and Brahmaji saw Bhrigu Muni, and Bhrigu Muni is very, very exalted, very qualified. And Brahmaji came, and Brahmaji is his father, and Bhrigu Muni came, and Bhrigu Muni did not pay respects to Brahmaji. So by action, he made him angry. And Brahmaji got really angry. What is this? He's so impudent, he doesn't even pay respects. So he got angry, but then because he's in mode of passion, he still controlled it. And whatever talks they had, and then he let Bhrigu Muni go. Now the third was, by words, by mind, and by action. So by mind, he committed with Brahmaji because he wanted to see how angry he can get. And then third was by body, by action. So he went to Shvetadvip or Shvet Sagar, Shiv Sagar. So he went to Shiv Sagar, and then he went where Lord Vishnu was lying down on the Anant Shesha, and Lakshmi Ji was massaging his lotus feet, and Bhrigu Muni went there, and he saw Vishnu lying down. And the gravest offense one can commit is by body. So he just kicked Lord Vishnu as hard as he could on his chest. And he said, what is this? You are always lying down. You don't even get up if a Brahman has come. So Lord Vishnu, laughing, smiling, he held on to the lotus feet of Bhrigu Muni. He said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. You came, and I respect you. And my chest is as hard as a rock. So you have placed your lotus feet. So lotus feet must have the heart. So let me massage your lotus feet. And then Bhrigu Muni got ashamed, and he understood Lord Vishnu is the supreme, because he did not get offended. He did not get angry. And to mark that occasion, Lord Vishnu always, on his right chest, he always carries the sign of Bhrigupad, Bhrigu's lotus feet. So any deity of Lord Vishnu, even Laddu Gopal, when we buy, you can see on his right chest there is a small foot mark, and that is the foot mark of Bhrigu Muni. But Lakshmi Ji, since she was serving Lord Vishnu's lotus feet, she got angry at Bhrigu Muni. She said, what is this? You kicked the Lord on his chest, my sitting place, and you have put your foot on that? How dare you did that? And she said, now I curse all the Brahmins. From now on, they will all be poor. So the Brahmins are always poor. Of course, they like it this way. But Bhrigu Muni also cursed her back. Then you can curse me, I curse you that you will not stay at one place for too long. You will not stay in one house for too long. So she became Chanchala after that. Of course, she stays wherever Lord Vishnu is, she stays there. But if we only want Lakshmi Ji to come and stay in our house, not for too long. Not going to happen. So anyway, Lord Vishnu did not intervene or didn't interfere, but he was staying neutral when all this cursing, counter-cursing going on over there also. So Bhrigu Muni is very much exalted person, but somehow here he took side of Daksha instead of being neutral or be with Lord Shiva. So he lost his mustache, and he had to get the beard from a goat. So anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Text 8. Vidhayakarchanena cha tad yadaha bhagwan bhava sandadhu kasya kayena savaniya pasho shiraha. After everything was executed exactly as directed by Lord Shiva, Daksha's body was joined to the head of the animal meant to be killed for the sacrifice, to be killed in the sacrifice. This time, all the demigods and great sages were very careful not to irritate Lord Shiva. Therefore, whatever he asked was done. It is specifically said here that Daksha's body was joined to the head of an animal, a goat. So that goat was there for the sacrifice. Sandhiyamane shirasi daksha rudrabha ivikshitaha sadhya supta ivotastho tadrishe chagrato mrinam. When the animal's head was fixed on the body of King Daksha, Daksha was immediately brought to consciousness. And as he awakened from sleep, the king saw Lord Shiva standing before him. So now can you imagine Daksha, who was very proud of his body, his stature, his position, and his opulence in that sacrifice when he insulted Shiva, and that second sacrifice when he insulted his own daughter Sati. Now he's got a goat head. Same king, but goat head. How disrespectful that is. The example given here is that Daksha got up as if he were awakened from deep sleep. In Sanskrit, this is called Supta Ivotashtu. The meaning is that after a man awakens from sleep, he immediately remembers all the duties which he must execute. Daksha was killed and his head was taken away and burnt to ashes. His body was lying dead, but by the grace of Lord Shiva, as soon as the head of a goat was joined to the body, Daksha came back to the consciousness again. This indicates that consciousness is also individual. Daksha actually took another body when he took on the head of a goat. But because consciousness is individual, his consciousness remained the same, although his bodily condition changed. Thus, bodily construction has nothing to do with the development of consciousness. Consciousness is carried with the transmigration of the soul. So Prabhupada says body has nothing to do, but according to the consciousness, we get the next body. Exceptions are always there, just like here. He got the goat's head, but his consciousness, because the soul is sitting in the heart, so his consciousness was the same of the consciousness of a human being, not of a goat. There are many instances of this in the Vedic history, such as the case of Maharaj Bharat. After quitting his body as a king, Maharaj Bharat was transferred to the body of a deer, but he retained the same consciousness of a tapasvi of Maharaj Bharat. He knew that although formerly he was King Bharat, he had been transferred to the body of a deer because of his absorption in thinking of a deer at the time of death. In spite of his having the body of a deer, however, his consciousness was as good as it was in the body of King Bharat. The arrangement by the Lord is so nice that if a person's consciousness is turned into Krishna consciousness, there is no doubt that in his next life he will be a great devotee of Krishna, even if he is offered a different type of body. So chances are he will get a human body. That's a major chance. But there is some exceptions, like Maharaj Bharat or even King Daksha. He got the head of a goat, and Maharaj Bharat got the whole body of a deer. But because they were so elevated in their consciousness, they still remembered everything from human being. Our consciousness, when we change bodies, because we are so low, so much in ignorance, We forget everything that we have done in the previous life. Forget about previous life. Even in this lifetime. If I ask, what did we do last Saturday at this time, 8:30 a.m.? Of course, we'll say we were listening to Bhagavatam. Okay, something else. Maybe not 8:30 a.m., maybe 10 a.m. What were you doing? We'll take time to remember what did we do. So this is our consciousness. So poor. So Prabhupada's words gives us some hope. The arrangement by the Lord is so nice that if a person's consciousness is turned into Krishna consciousness, there is no doubt that in his next life he'll be a great devotee of Krishna. Even he is offered a different type of body. So if we become complete Krishna conscious, we can be transferred to the spiritual world. But we might have a different body. Could be the body of an animal or the gopi or whatever. I don't know. Because the consciousness will be purified. Or if we haven't become fully eligible, if we have made some progress, so we will get next body, but the consciousness will remain elevated and we'll start from there on. Because that's the mercy of Krishna. So all we have to do now, since we have a choice, now since we have association, we have every single opportunity to become Krishna conscious, we should try our best. Give more and more time for chanting, for reading, for association, for service, taking care of our deities, taking care of the family also, in the sense that understanding they all are part and parcel of Krishna. So we have to serve them, we have to take care of them. At the same time, try to serve or try to preach to the public in general. So, yena kena prakaren, no matter how, but we remain Krishna conscious. That's all we have to do. Tada vrishya dhvaj dvesh kalilatma prajapati shivavaloka abhavacharad dhradivamalaha charad dhradivamalaha. At that time, when Daksha saw Lord Shiva, who rides upon a bull, his heart, which was polluted by envy of Lord Shiva, was immediately cleansed, just as the water in a lake is cleansed by autumn rains. Here is an example of why Lord Shiva is called auspicious. If anyone sees Lord Shiva with devotion and reverence, his heart is immediately cleansed. King Daksha was polluted by envy of Lord Shiva, and yet by seeing him with a little love and devotion, his heart immediately became cleansed. In the rainy season, the reservoirs of water become dirty and muddy, but as soon as the autumn rain comes, all the water immediately becomes clear and transparent. Similarly, although Daksha's heart was impure because of his having slandered Lord Shiva, for which he was severely punished, Daksha now came to consciousness. And just by seeing Lord Shiva with veneration and respect, he became immediately purified. So that's why sometimes it is said, not sometimes, it is said that Bhaya bin preet na hoi Gopala. So until he was not punished, he didn't come to his senses. Daksha didn't learn the lesson. Once he was punished, then okay, everything, his heart was cleansed by seeing Lord Shiva. So we have an option. Either we become Krishna conscious on our own, or try to make advancement just by hearing about Krishna, just by seeing other devotees, how they're making advancement. Or Krishna will make the arrangements for our punishment. Of course, his punishment will be like, as Prabhupada explained earlier, it's like a father punishing his son. It's for the betterment of the son. So Krishna will arrange some punishment through his Maya only, because we are not that advanced, that Krishna or Krishna's expansion will come and punish us. So Krishna will make arrangement through his Maya for our punishment, so-called punishment. But that will be more like rectification. So after rectification, we should learn our lesson and try to become Krishna conscious. Otherwise, there'll again be punishment or rectification. Or just like a father slaps his son, it's out of love only. No enmity, no enviousness. It's all out of love and mercy. So we can look at our lives. We've been punished. We are getting punished. This coronavirus, the whole thing, it's a punishment for everybody. It's big time punishment. Some are really suffering. Some are like, okay, this is opportunity for us to go inside if you cannot go outside. Means do more chanting, cleanse our heart more and more. Pray to Krishna, surrender to Krishna more. So we can take this time. We can take this time for our advantage, for our betterment. Read more Prabhupada's books, chant more, listen to more bhajans and kathas or whatever. And we pray to Krishna. We take more chance to surrender to him. Because more the cases are increasing of coronavirus, even among devotee circles. Like look at His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. So many devotees all over the world. Today I got information from Dallas temple. There's so many devotees who got infected. So this is a time we pray to Krishna. We pray, Krishna, please engage me more in your service. That's all. Whether you make me suffer through corona or not, that's up to you. But please engage me more. Please give me some taste for holy name. Give me some taste for serving your devotees. And just see just how Daksha, after which he was severely punished, he came to his consciousness. And just by seeing Lord Shiva with veneration and respect, he became immediately purified. So no more grudges in his heart, no more enviousness, just veneration and respect for Lord Shiva. Bhavastvaya krita dhir nashat no anuragata otkantya bhashva kalya sampretam sutam smaran. King Daksha wanted to offer prayers to Lord Shiva, but as he remembered the ill-fated death of his daughter Sati, his eyes filled with tears, and in bereavement his voice choked up, and he could not say anything. Krichrat sanstabhya cha manah prem vivlita sudhi shashansa nirvyali kena bhavinesham prajapati. At this time, King Daksha, afflicted by love and affection, was very much awakened to his real senses. With great endeavor, he pacified his mind, checked his feelings, and with pure consciousness began to offer prayers to Lord Shiva. So this is the stage we have to come to. He is at a stage of bhava. King Daksha, afflicted by love and affection, was very much awakened to his real senses. With great endeavor, he pacified his mind, checked his feelings, and with this pure consciousness began to offer prayers to Lord Shiva. So this is how we have to pray to Krishna every day when we are chanting our Hare Krishna mantra, when we are trying to complete our rounds. With love, with pure consciousness, we have to pray to Krishna. Chanting Hare Krishna, and through the prayer we have to ask him, oh Radharani, oh Krishna, please, 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 please engage me in your service. I've served Maya long enough, so many lifetimes I've served her, but no avail. Now, please let me serve you. So, from next text, King Daksha is going to start his prayers. So, we'll start that tomorrow. So, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you said one line which recalled me something about Bhai Bhin Hoy Na Preet. That's from Ramcharitmanas. That's my favorite two lines also. Vinay na manat jalati jan gaye teen din beet, bole Ram sakop tab bhai bhin hoy na preet. So that's like my father and my grandpa. When I was a kid, they used to say this to tease me always. That the Vinay word comes and that's my first name. That was coming, and all of the time they were using this dua. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I didn't know the whole Chopai. I just knew this much only, 1/4 of it.
Two liners, yeah, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु जी बिल्कुल ठीक है ये बात बिना डंडे के समझ आती भी नहीं है. It goes for me absolutely.
हर एक के साथ यही हाल है.
प्रभु जी रामचरितमानस की चौपाई बिल्कुल फिट बैठती है मेरे को. नहीं होता, डर नहीं होना तो कुछ नहीं होता. प्रभु रिस्पेक्ट भी नहीं आती है, इवन बड़ों के लिए भी रिस्पेक्ट नहीं है घर के अंदर. इफ देयर इज नो फियर, forget about भगवान जी. पापा का डर नहीं है, मम्मी का डर नहीं है, तो देयर इज नो रिस्पेक्ट. तो द भय जो है ना, ये बहुत जरूरी है रिस्पेक्ट के लिए, लव के लिए.
Well, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says at some place, let me remember it properly. He says for any activity, so first it starts with fear, then, okay, he's still not doing, then we give some, or then it goes to some benefit or award, then it goes to as a duty, then from duty it goes to status of love. Because love doesn't just happen all of a sudden. First is fear, that we are afraid of material world. I don't want to take birth again. Let me take up my child. Then some material benefit. Okay, I'll get some benefit, material benefit, better this or that, more money. Then I'll do it. Then it is out of duty. Yes, I have to do it. It's my duty to do it. Whether I get material benefits or not, I'll still do it. Then after that, he comes to the stage of maybe love or whatever. Slowly. But it starts with fear only. We have to do it somehow or other. We have to do it. That's the point. Radha Prabhu was saying something, if I heard him right.
I have one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
In the last verse that we read, King Daksha, afflicted by love and affection, was very much awakened to his real senses. With great endeavor, he pacified his mind, his feelings. This pure consciousness began to offer prayers. So, King Daksha, we heard earlier that even after in the next manvantra, after I think in another manvantra also, he had this feeling of animosity or jealousy, envy towards Lord Shiva. So
no, was he? I mean, he had that next incident will be with Narad Muni, not Lord Shiva.
Okay. Yeah.
And that wasn't out of envy, because Narad Muni converted his sons into sannyasi.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So his envy towards Lord Shiva is finished in this lifetime.
Yeah. He came to his senses. But this is basically for us to understand, to learn something.
I know. That's what I was wondering is, so it's possible by punishment, by a great personality like Lord Shiva, that somebody can come to his senses permanently.
Yeah.
And one more doubt I had is from the beginning of this lecture. So you had mentioned that intelligence has nothing to do with the brain substance. Means Prabhupada is mentioning that in one of the purport. So in the Bhagavad Gita, 63rd verse, it is written, Krodhat bhavati sammohah sammohat smriti vibramah smriti bramshat buddhinashu. So does it mean that by destruction of memory or bewilderment of memory, intelligence is lost? Is it something connection there which is being discussed?
Well, because they all are part of subtle body: mind, intelligence, false ego, and consciousness.
So that means there is a connection.
Connection between mind and intelligence, yes, but not the brain substance and the intelligence.
No, memory. I'm asking. There is a connection between memory and intelligence, right? And memory, we know, is residing in the brain substance.
No, that's where we are wrong.
Okay. Because our science says we have neurons and our memory is built there. So when we perform some activities, this is how we develop our skills. So by repeated performance of the act, the memory is built very strong, and from memory then we are able to perform the act. So it is not true.
No. Intelligence is a subtle body, not dependent upon the brain
It has
substance.
nothing to do with the gross body at all. So gross body is not eating.
It's just an organ, just like to perform any activity, we need hands.
Okay. So that organ is not the seat of memory?
No.
Okay.
Soul is the seat of memory.
Right. So all that memory we are able to have it in the soul only. The soul has
and ultimately it comes from Paramatma. Na? He says, Sarvasya chaham riddhi sanivishta matta smritir jnanam vimohanam ja.
So as we have wrongly conceived due to our education, brain is not the seat of memory. Right.
Because Krishna himself said, I'm sitting in the heart, from me comes what? Memory, in what? Matta smritir, jnanam, and apohanam cha.
Right. That is Krishna says in the 15th chapter. Yeah, I understand that. Even in Bhagavatam, this connection between memory and intelligence is written. So I was thinking memory is connected with the body. So doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory and sleep, as determined by the different functions, are said to be distinct characteristics of intelligence. So memory has a role to play with the intelligence. Is connected with. So based on our memory, our intelligence is going to be greater or less. But that memory has nothing to do with our brain.
Brain substance could be the organ to help in the activities of the memory or whatever, mental activities, but not at all.
Can we assume that actually all the memory is there in the soul, and brain substance is just like a secondary memory, like the RAM which is there in the computer. So the hard disk is the soul. Can we say like that?
Yeah, we can say the real RAM is there in the heart and the extended RAM is there.
I think, yeah.
So we have to work on the real RAM, not extended RAM.
Yeah. Okay, bro.
See, even all the IT people, when they are saying Ram, 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 they're still chanting the names of Ram. They get verified.
How much RAM? How much RAM? Everybody is asking how much RAM.
And here in America, there is a car company called Dodge, and they make the truck. They name the truck as Ram.
RAM,
So they are
okay.
chanting the names of Ram.
That's very good. Everybody is chanting. The more the RAM, the more the performance.
Yeah, so they all are chanting. Ram doesn't mind if he's called Ram. I don't think he minds it.
Pronunciation is always forgiven. The Chinese, we heard the Chinese, the Japanese, they don't pronounce the RAM.
Yeah, it's not in their vocabulary, yes.
So RAM is much, much better compared to lamb.
So he is very merciful. That's all it is. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. So you all have a wonderful and safe day. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai Shri
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.